What's up, everyone? Welcome to a surprise episode of the Pack a Day podcast. I'm your host, Jimmy Christensen, here with personally, you know this, one of my favorite Packers to ever be on our team. And just to introduce him, Mike Daniels, former Packer defensive lineman. And you know when I say this, it is with the utmost respect. And you were the psycho on the team, which every team needs. Someone that just, once you're between those lines, all out all the time, you don't mess with them, the enforcer. Something that, in my opinion, we don't have on the team right now. I loved you when you were on the Packers. Did not like to see you go, but I'm happy to talk with you, Mike. How are you doing today, man, after a tough Packers loss?
I was in Chicago when we lost to them in the regular season.
Okay.
My mother-in-law's from the south side of Chicago. She turned 70. And my wife, she's got plethora of siblings, and there's nieces and nephews who are all grown now. And I'm around uncle in-laws and all type of in-laws who are all from Chicago. And I'm in Chicago as we're losing to the Bears during the regular season.
Yep.
And the only thing I would say to them is be happy that it was a Philly kid, and I'm 10 minutes from Philly, not even. Be happy it's a Philly kid that you got on your team because he's the one that you Midwest people need to help y'all win. So I'll leave it at that. Because without our, South Jersey, Philly, East Coast blood, y'all not winning. Y'all not beating the Packers. And who got the game winning touchdown again? Same guy,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
All right. So football aside,
yeah,
I like Coach LaFleur. When
okay.
he first got there, a lot of people don't realize he asked me a lot of questions, because I was one of the few veterans that were potentially going to be retained. I was the only one on defense. You consider Kenny, but I think he was going into year 4 veteran, but still was different. Tremont was still there, but he had been gone for some years. So I was the elder statesman of the defense that had been there because Clay, Morgan, those guys were gone. So it was just me. And then obviously, I got released before my season, but there was a lot of, as a new coach should do, is getting a lay of the land, asking a lot of questions, things like that. So, I respect for Matt in that way. He's definitely a player's coach. And one thing he asked me, he said, Mike, who are like the dogs on this team?
Yeah.
And we never not had the guys with the attitude. We always did. I'm telling you, we always did. I don't know why in Green Bay itself it's not a point of emphasis. And what do I mean by that? I've been to 2 other locker rooms, right? I got friends all around the league, like we all do.
Mm-hmm.
And the one consistent is there is a real just aggressive, nasty, trifling attitude towards your opponents, right? There's an intense hatred for your rivals. That wasn't like the defining characteristic of the team. And the reason I'm saying what I'm saying is because every now and then, I'll get some mentions. My name is mentioned on Twitter, and I'm like, what am I being mentioned for? And I swear I had this conversation last year, 2 years ago. And it's like, wow, Mike Daniels said this years ago. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, what did Mike Daniels say? And it'll be quoting either a player or it'll be quoting, somebody like I don't know, Nagler or something like that, who is, reporting on the team, that still has ties to the social media world, right? That came
Yep.
from that what do you call it? The blog world, not somebody that came from TV reporter, newspaper reporter, but somebody from the blog world who's now working on the inside. And you know, it's like, wow, we need to be tougher. And I'm like, why is this? How is this still a thing? And it makes me not feel as bad about my time playing because I'm like, well,
Yeah.
at least I know it wasn't like it's just kind of a thing, right? I guess it's just kind of a thing, which I thought it was turning, right?
Yeah.
You're bringing in guys like Jair. You bought people like Za'Darius and Preston. You bought in Devontae Wyatt. All these Georgia dogs,
Mm-hmm.
both figuratively and literally, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And my man, who's a complete crash at a linebacker. Like I love him. He's nuts. A Walker.
Do
You
yeah,
you know what I'm
Anquay
saying?
Walker. Do you
Yeah,
think we comped him down too much though? Because his rookie year, he made some mistakes, obviously pushing a coach and a training staff bumping into him. Do you think
yes,
they
we
went too far
have.
to tame him? Yeah.
You don't shake, you don't file down a dog's fangs. No, you just put a muzzle on him and then take the muzzle off when it's game day. That's what you
Yeah.
do. Or you put them in a cage or something until it's time to go. That's what you do. You don't, because it's almost like we're not allowed to have that kind of image.
Is that a coaching thing?
That's the only thing I could think about. It's baffling to me because we're like the only team in the league that consistently is like, why aren't we tougher?
Yeah.
Now I don't know if it's because like somebody I saw a picture where they did the jersey swap, whatever, with Harbaugh and having a Packers uniform. I was like, will they bring a defense first, run heavy mindset at coach in the Green Bay? Green Bay is a quarterback town.
Yeah.
Will they bring a defensive minded guy in the Green Bay? You see what I'm saying? Because that, once again, love LaFleur. Really do. He asked me, who are the dogs? Because he was at the Rams with Aaron Donald and Sue. He was at the Falcons when they were rolling on defense. He knows what it's supposed to look like, right?
Yeah.
But yet his team is still being called soft.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So this was a tweet from Matt Schneidman today, just pointing out this season alone, Packers led by 10 in Cleveland, led by 13 in Dallas, led by 9 in Denver, 10 in Chicago, and then 18 this yesterday in Chicago. All of those are losses. We had 3 games this year where we didn't punt the ball once. We lost all 3. Right now, there's a report that came out before the game that said Matt LaFleur is not coaching for his job. Seeing how the second half went and some of those things that happened in the regular season, just losing leads, not executing when you're supposed to. We saw mistakes in this game where they take a timeout, they come out from that, and they get a delay of game. We had just miscommunications left and right. Right now, with that loss, where do you stand on Matt LaFleur? Do you think he's back next year? Do you think he should be back next year? Do you think there just needs to be positional or offensive coordinator changes? Do you think that tide has turned after the performance in Chicago?
I'm not qualified to speak on that because I'm not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. From the outside looking in, I don't think he's doing a bad job per se, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's got their flaws. And it's like football is such a nuanced sport, right? My focus literally, and not dodge and evade your question or anything like that, but my focus is literally the attitude.
Yeah.
And I think it's not a LaFleur thing. Because McCarthy straight up, he wanted us to fight in practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we just had guys that, some personalities that isn't what they thought was needed until it was needed. When you're playing Seattle and all they do is fight.
Yeah.
Right? When you're playing that 49ers team with that O-line and all they wanted to do was fight back in that time, right? When you're playing the Lions and the Bears and the Vikings who hate your guts.
Yeah.
So yeah, that attitude is kind of needed, right? Controlled for sure. Should LaFleur still be there? I don't see why to move away from him. But then again, once again, my thing is always this. Look, at the end of the day, LaFleur hired a defensive coordinator that for the first time in forever, they have a defense where guys up front just go hunt. Linebackers, hunt. DBs, you see it moving, you hit it.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And once again, now granted, you got to think, I was told that there was a lot of injuries. A
Yeah.
lot. And I'm looking up. Oh wow, Micah's gone. Oh wow, Wyatt's gone. Okay. You moved on from Kenny Clark without having a real replacement, right? Which is
Yep.
kind of like a theme in Green Bay, right? Like,
Yep.
okay, yeah, we have two dominant D tackles. All right, yo, we're going to get rid of one. Now the other
Hmm.
guy is on his own. It's like, yo, I don't have somebody next to me. And now he's like that for a few years. Now one is budding and up and coming. And as soon as that guy's up and coming, as soon as it's almost his time, all right, hey, one guy, get out the way. Now, D-line is not receiver. Look at the Bengals.
Yep.
You don't have to pay over half of your freaking salary cap, you know what I mean, or whatever, a large portion of it to two guys in one position group. Not with D tackle. Not with D tackle, okay? So you can still like manage certain things, in my opinion,
Yeah.
because that's such a critical point. Because now Wyatt goes down, now it's like, uh-oh.
Hmm.
Not to mention Slayton's going to.
Yep.
Now
We
it's like,
saw.
uh-oh.
Yeah, we saw that with this game too, and credit to the defensive line for the first half. In all the games we played the Bears have only scored 6 points in the first half in 3 games. Incredible. The defensive line, they held it in check. The Bears were able to move the ball, but when it really mattered on fourth downs, the defense stepped up at most of the time until later in the game, which has been a theme with this opponent this whole time. For me though, like I'm
I can tell you
not
why it's a
giving.
theme once you get done.
Yeah, I'm not trying to give the defense an excuse because that you still have to execute when you need to execute. But you go into that second half. To me, it comes down our offensive line just completely. I don't know what happened after halftime. Obviously, the Bears stepped up, but we did not have. We had one run over 1 yard the whole second half. That can't happen, especially when you have such a lead. Jordan Love was constantly under pressure, and then you go for two straight 3-and-outs. You put your defense back on the field immediately, and it just is. It's going to wear them down. And to your point of the interior of the defensive line, you have Kobe Wooden, who has played well this year, being a surprise replacement for Kenny Clark. But you go from last season playing 15 snaps to all suddenly playing like 40 and 50 a game, and you don't have Wyatt next to him. You're relying on Stackhouse, who's an undrafted rookie, Brinson, who's a six round rookie. It just it did not work. But I would love to hear your reason on what happened.
So here's what it comes down to. Once again, it comes down to attitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do the Bears, we're losing 21-3 or 27-6, whatever, third quarter, fourth quarter. We don't care.
Yep.
Because they hate the Packers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I saw Ben Johnson and he's screaming F the Packers, F the
Yeah.
Packers, F the Packers, I'm like, until Pack Nation is okay with having a coach that carries that type of attitude, it's going to be hard to really just run the conference outside of having a Hall of Fame quarterback to cover up a lot of issues, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Jordan Love doesn't have the ability to do that or the capability to do that, because I think everybody is great. You made it there, right? And he's a good football player. He's a real good football player, right? Um, but once again, we saw fell short all the time with the Hall of Famers, Aaron and Brett, right? We saw that
Yep.
too, right? And you see that around the league. Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, that's just, it's football. So nuanced. Getting to the Super Bowl is almost impossible. It's not impossible as we see it happen, but it's you know
Yep.
what I'm saying? With that being said, your coach, and not saying Matt doesn't feel that way, but it has to be embraced because there are a lot of fans, and maybe it's just sour grapes from losing, but I saw a lot of fans from our Pack Nation were criticizing their coach and saying things like he's acting like a child, he has no class, all this other stuff. I was looking for the comments that said, yeah, that's the type of energy we need to have.
Yeah.
That's the type of energy we need to have. That real, like, screw you energy.
Yeah.
That real he said, I effing hate those guys.
Yeah.
He said, I effing hate those guys. Now, it used to bother me. Coach McCarthy used to put up signs in the building and it would say division, week, whether we're playing the Lions, Bears, and Vikings. And I'm like, why does he need to put signs up? The players need to be like, yo, F them. That's got to come from within. The thing is, though, rivalries, unless you grew up in Wisconsin, you don't care about the Packers and Bears rivalry. You don't know anything about these rivalries, right?
Yeah.
I had more invested in the Cowboys-Eagles rivalry because that's the rivalry I grew up watching. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Same with college football, right? I was invested more in Temple and Villanova than I was Iowa and Iowa State, right? Or Penn State, Michigan State, but or Rutgers and Syracuse. But the thing is that when you bring guys in, you have to you got to do them like they did in, was it Clockwork Orange, and peer their eyes up and make them watch the history and make them really get in there and really understand, yo, we hate them. Our management don't like their management. We don't like them. Ben Johnson, he got that. The guy's from North Carolina. I had to look his stuff up. He's from North Carolina. He is nowhere near the Midwest until he started with the Lions, if I'm not mistaken. And I didn't even know he was there the year I was there. But we were in that same meeting with Matt Patricia, who's a Northeast guy, right? And his whole thing was like, I effing hate the Packers. We don't like them. We hate them. And it was the same when it came to Vikings week. It was the same when it came to freaking Bears week. And that's why he has that attitude, because he was indoctrinated in Detroit. They indoctrinated him with that attitude like, F these guys. You have to really ingrain that into your players. Like, we hate them. That's what makes rivalries rivalry. Jamar Chase is from Louisiana. Played at LSU. I don't know if he's seen a day lower than 50 degrees in his life, right?
Yeah.
Goes to the Bengals, and he may or may not be spitting on jokers from the Steelers. He's letting it be known, like, no, whoever the quarterbacks in the conference, no, he's not as good as my guy. He hates those guys. Why? Because in Cincinnati, it's preached. I'm going to cover up my Jesus shirt, but they call the Browns the shit stains around there. Management.
Yeah.
They call the Steelers the squealers. You get what I'm saying? There's a hatred that in Green Bay we don't have.
Do you think the organization is too worried about their, like, it's known as the historic, I don't want to put this name on it, but the standard organization, classy team, they have to ditch that at some point. To your point, you've seen Ben Johnson after the game was saying, we heard what was coming from the team up north from coaches and players alike. We heard it. We took it personal. And then he made comments, but when he started with the team, I enjoy being Matt LaFleur twice a year. Not once have we seen Matt LaFleur come out with that same energy. At some point, you need, and it's reiterating exactly what you said, you need your coaches. You have to ditch the facade. We know some players have come out, said they don't like the Bears, yada, yada. I'm with you, and I want to, at some point, hear the coaches in front of everyone have that same type of energy that Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell have come out. But I wonder if it's just the organization is like, that's not our brand. That's not how we do it. But they got to ditch that. They got to.
When Anthony Barr dropped on Aaron Rodgers,
Yep,
they were celebrating like the king is dead.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Nick Fairley put Aaron in a full Nelson headlock and lift him off the ground when the whistle blew.
Yep.
These guys hate us. And when I would say we lost to the Lions, and I remember saying, I don't care if I got to punch somebody in the face, and they say, yo, tell this kid to shut up. All right. But every time I turn around, one of our guys is getting knocked out the game.
Yeah.
And we're not delivering the same love back. You get what I'm saying? To
Yep.
the opponents. And when we have the guys that can do it, it's like, yo, chill out. Yo, man, yo, relax, man. Yo, chill out. You're doing too much. I've watched guys in college be killers.
Yeah.
Played against some of them. They were not that same guy after playing in Green Bay for a couple years. For whatever reason, it's like the priority is different. And I don't want to hear it's winning because New England is that team. Belichick, during his era, I know for certain. And he actually was known for taking character guys, right, for a year or two, winning with them and then sending them on their way. It has to be an attitude of we hate them. We want to be petty.
Yep.
We want to embarrass this organization. We don't like them. And they don't like us. I never really felt an intense hatred towards the Bears, the Lions, or the Vikings. Because it just there was like that we're better than you, your little brother mentality to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like just in general, right? And I remember when I was on the lines, I'm on the sideline, and Coach Patricia pulls me to the side before the Bears game and said, "Hey, hey, all your shit that you do, like all that bull it's you do in practice and that we got to do, I need all that from you today."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, 2017 Monday Night Football, never forget, Jake Swanson. I get by him. He pulls my face mask. It's going to be a first third down. I'm a sack mask. He pulls my face mask. I turn around and I headbutt him. I get called for a flag. And the next I see an article written that first third down of the game. Wow, Mike Daniels' costly 15-yard penalty cost the game. I'm like, a penalty that happened on the third play of the game cost the game? After the dude tried to rip my face mask off? Yet, these other teams, they will literally say, hey, we'll take 15 yards early to set the tone because we hate them.
Yeah.
I've heard coaches say that. I'm not going to say names because there was too many of them that were saying it.
Yeah.
My last 3 years of football was it was amazing. Like to hear the hatred they have for other teams.
Yeah.
They took pride in embarrassing their rivals. They took pride in hating their rivals.
Yeah.
One of my favorite games of all time was that Steelers and Bengals game, that playoff game, where it went off the rails and the Bengals ended up losing.
Yep.
You know, when they should have won with the
that
whole Vontaze thing, right?
Yep.
And the very next year, we're in Minnesota. They chose us to open their stadium with. And I had the team speech because McCarthy's on the same type of time as me. And I said, I'm like, yo, when are we going to hate our opponent, our rivals, the way they hate us, the way the Steelers and the Bengals hate each other? And I swear, everybody looked at me like I had 7 eyes. Like, what are you talking about? They looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, we lose the game. Shocker. Then the next year in that same stadium, our quarterback gets knocked out the game. Shocker.
Yeah. Were you surprised when and to your thing right here, and this goes back to we'll take 15 yards to set the tone. We hate this team. Going back to the second matchup against the Bears, that hit Jordan Love took by Booker, helmet to helmet, gives him a concussion. He's on the field out. How shocked were you to see zero offensive players go at Booker to whatever you take at that point? You take the 15 yards and you go at Booker. right?
I'm gonna tell you right now, if those guys were in college, they would have went after Booker.
Yeah.
I know Rasheed Walker. I know where he's from.
Yeah.
Was what's the name hurt during that time? I don't remember. Elton? Was Elton out?
Elton was out and Zach Tom were out.
Okay. Well, I know Walker. He ain't going for that.
Yep.
But he did that day.
Well, even Anthony Belton.
And that's not a him thing. That's what I'm saying. It's like you have to embrace being the villains.
Yep.
Embrace being the bad guy. You got to. You got to. The team that decided to take a cheap shot on the quarterback is now knocked you out the playoffs.
Yep.
And once again, I can't look at the coaches. I can't look at the players. It's like a thing.
Yeah.
It's like a thing there. You know? I don't know if I don't know how that I think our guy would get crucified online for doing something like that. Oh, that's a costly penalty. You shouldn't do that. Oh, that's just stupid. Oh, why would we do it? You know?
Yeah.
I think how our guys will get treated for doing something like that. How do I know that? Because it happened to me and I've seen it happen. I saw Quay Walker got massacred. That's why I had to come to his defense a couple years ago. Like, yo, that's the energy you want on your team.
Yeah.
I've watched guys, Luke Kuechly got thrown out of our game one time. Muhammad Wilkerson did. And guess what? Their fans are like, hey, yo, F it happens.
Yep.
Right? And those are all pro players. But if it was one of ours, it'd be like, oh, we can't do that. Oh, we can't. That's not the way we conduct ourselves.
Yeah. It's
Football's
a violent
barbaric.
sport.
It's a barbaric sport. And you need guys who are going to tote the line. Because I'm going to tell you, every time the Packers have had guys like that on their defense, it was Super Bowl time. That 90s defense, they were not very nice.
Yeah.
They were not. I talked to those guys. They were not. That 2010 defense, they had an all-out team brawl during camp where Cullen Jenkins and Mike McCarthy came face-to-face during that camp. And that's, you know what McCarthy says about that? That's the moment our team became a team.
Yeah.
When that element is not present in football, you ain't winning no Super Bowl, buddy. Good luck getting there. Good luck getting there. You ain't winning no Super Bowl. The 2 times I came close, Seattle, Atlanta, those were 2 teams that had a FU attitude. They had a FU attitude. Right?
Yep. Absolutely. Especially Seattle.
Why did Aaron struggle against the 49ers? You don't think somebody in that front office didn't say, hey, this kid grew up a fan of ours. He grew up a fan of this organization. Let's break his heart today.
Yeah.
That's how these guys talk. That's how they talk in other locker rooms and other organizations. I had a coach show us a reel Instagram, right? Show us a series of clips of a quarterback doing this every time things go wrong. Moping and stuff. He said, yo, let's get him crying and whining like that today. Let's get him crying and whining like that today. And I'm like, yo, this is football. This is what football is all about.
So put your GM hat on right now. What are we going to? Obviously, season's over. Lost to the Bears. A lot of things went into it. Your thing, exactly, just attitude. We don't have the hatred. It's something deeply rooted within Green Bay to just take guys. And I saw this year, I was there for the training camp between the Seahawks and the Packers when they had the joint practice. Battling, literal fights. Anthony Belton swinging. He doesn't care if people have helmet on. He's punching them anyways. It was awesome to see. I loved it. going into the year, obviously, I'm going to assume we want some dogs, and not to, as you said, shrivel down their fangs. Let them be there, put a muzzle on them, take it off when it's game time. But are there any areas right now on this team, whether offense or defense, that you think need to be addressed going into next year if we want to keep the Super Bowl window open, with players like Tucker Kraft coming back, Michael Parsons, Devontae Wyatt, all of them coming back from injury?
What is up, everybody? It is time to get our sleeper picks in for Sunday Night Football, the divisional round, Bears and Rams. This is a huge one. We can't have the Bears going on to the NFC Championship game. So Rams, you're going to have to come up with a win here. We've got 3 fun picks for this one. Of course, we've got to go with our guy, Devontae Adams, more than 53.5 receiving yards. We see how bad this Chicago secondary is. Devontae's going to have a field day, more than 53.5 receiving yards. Puka Nacua, anytime touchdown. The dude's a machine. Chicago's not keeping him out of the end zone. I'm going to go with Luther Burden. I think he's going to have some success against this Rams secondary, more than 2.5 receptions. You can copy my picks, or you can choose your own adventure and make it your own thing. That's awesome. But make sure to get those picks in over on Sleeper. It makes playoff football a ton of fun. And the best part is you can get a 100% match up to $100 by utilizing code PACKADAY. Again, a 100% match up to $100 by utilizing code PACKADAY. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper for details. They're available in over 25 states nationwide. So what are you waiting for? Get those sleeper picks in right now. Hey friends, time to take a look at what's on the horizon, presented by Schreiber Horizon. And it is a sad moment when you realize there are only 7 games left in this NFL season, but I'm excited for them and I'm going to pick them right now for you. So we're going to start with Bills at Broncos. I'm going with the Broncos in this game. I think this is going to be really close. I think Josh Allen has a chance, but I'm going with Denver to pick up the win at home. 49ers at Seahawks. I'm going with the home team, number 1 seed here as well. Rested, that defense. Mike McDonald gets time to prepare. I'm going with the Seahawks over a very beat up 49ers team. Texans at Patriots. This is the toughest one for me to call. I think that Texans defense is on an entirely different level right now. Drake May, who I think is the MVP of the league. I'm not sure if he's going to be, but to me, the MVP of the league versus the best defense in the league, that has the ability to be a massively fun matchup. But I'm going to say the defense gets the best of first-time playoff quarterback Drake May. Texans win. Rams at Bears. You bet I'm picking the Rams in this one. Bears go down. Rams pick up the win, which then brings us to Rams at Seahawks in the NFC Championship game. The 2 best teams, in my opinion, in the NFC all year long. And I'm going with the Seahawks at home to win against the Rams. I think a lot of people picking the Rams. I did before the playoffs, but I'm going the Seahawks now to win that game. And then Texans at Broncos. I'm going Broncos in that one. I'm going the 2 home number 1 seeds. I'm going chalk here, and we're going to end up with a Broncos Seahawks Super Bowl, and I'm picking Seattle to win the game. And I want to tell you about a key part of Schreiber Horizon's suite of solutions. It's called the Hitch. The Hitch is Schreiber Horizon's end-to-end logistics solution, ensuring that your product moves safely and efficiently from plant to retail. Schreiber goes beyond basic transportation to deliver a seamlessly integrated distribution experience. From temperature-sensitive freight to customized packaging solutions, Schreiber manages every step with precision, reliability, and care. Here's what you can expect: cost efficiency, simplified operations, scalable support, and trusted expertise. The Hitch doesn't just move product, they connect you to one of the most trusted, well-established distribution networks in the food industry. Backed by decades of Schreiber experience, Schreiber partners with major retailers, reliable suppliers, and expert carriers to ensure your goods get where they need to go efficiently, accurately, and on time. You can find out more by snapping a picture of the QR code on your screen or going to schreiberhorizon.com.
Bring a tone. I'm not even going to talk about the draft.
Yep.
Bring a tone setter in there on defense.
Okay.
A linebacker or a D lineman. Somebody that can get violent in practice. DBs, it's a little different. Somebody that can really get violent in practice. Somebody that can light up a running back. Somebody that can blow through an O-lineman's face, right? Because then and only then will your offensive line get better.
Okay.
Seattle's O-line did not have superstars on it. They were just gritty. J.R. Sweezy was a freaking DN and won the Super Bowl as a starting guard, right? But their defense was so violent, so physical, the offense had to adjust. One of my buddies who was from the area, we both were at Iowa. Albert Young is a running back. He was with the Vikings a couple of years, and he said, Mike, that defense I went against every day in practice at Iowa got me prepared for anything. If you look at the like you got bring that type of guy in on the defense who's in his last years still got something in the tank to give, right? Like you if you sign him to a 3-year deal, you're not expecting him to be the starter his 3rd year, right? Because the young guy now is in there. Bring that kind of guy in to really, even if 2-year deal, whatever, but somebody that come in who is coming from a completely different culture, like Micah Parsons, right?
Yep.
To set that tone with Micah, and that'll bring everybody else up, and that'll make the defense, that'll make the offense better. Because they're going to come in with the attitude like, oh, these are rivals? Oh, yeah, we're supposed to hate them. Perfect.
Yep.
Because was Micah's first game against the Lions?
Yep.
And he looked like a crazy animal.
Yeah, he even said before, I hate the Lions. Like he full right in, right away.
He's from PA. He's from the East Coast. He knows nothing about these Midwest rivalries. Played in Dallas, but guess what? He already knows. Oh, those are rivals. All right, F them.
Yep. Yeah.
So bring in another vet that has that type of edge to him, and you honestly, not even so much you're bringing, like, yeah, it can help you on the field, but you're more so bringing him in there to change the tide of the mentality of the team.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you're bringing him in there for.
Yeah.
You're bringing him in there for that.
A culture changer.
Duke Tobin in Cincinnati told me at the Super Bowl party, and I was on the press squad there. He said, Mike, we don't get it without you. And I'm like, what do you mean? I was on press squad this year. He was like, you bought like that expectation of Super Bowl, that winning that you bought from Green Bay, you bought that here. Yeah. And that's, and the young guys got to see and learn from that. So bring that type of guy in that change the pace of like that mentality change, right?
Yep.
Because right now, Green Bay is still, it just looks like, I'm just looking at that coach. I effing hate them. And I'm like, if LaFleur did something like that, how would Pac Nation respond to that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to embrace the dirtiness that comes with being an elite team. It's like a sickness you got to have. You know what I mean? And you got to embrace it. Wisconsin's a blue collar state. It's not nobody's soft in the state of Wisconsin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Packer image, it might need a facelift now at this point.
Yeah.
It can't be your granddad's organization anymore. Well, I can't even say that because granddad's organization, they was spitting and stomping on fools back in those days. All right. So I can't even say that anymore. I can't even say that because Lombardi wasn't going for it. I can't even say that. Lambeau wasn't going for it. I can't say that.
Yeah.
And the coaches they've had, Rose, Holmgren, Sherman, what's the name? McCarthy. These guys were holes. They were.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I'm not saying LaFleur ain't. It just has to be okay to be the villain.
Yeah.
I'm living out here in Philly, in this Philly area. And the Eagles have been one of the top teams since I've been out here. And it's just like, that's just what we do out here, period. It's just the mentality.
Yeah.
F you and everything that's about you. We throwing snowballs at Santa out here. You know what I mean? Like that's the mentality.
Yeah.
And the Packer fans, like, we have to be able to embrace that because it's going to be a little uncomfortable when you first see it. Right? It's going to be a little jarring. but you have to be able to be okay with somebody setting the tone.
Yeah. We want our players to, as you mentioned, a barbaric sport, but it's almost like we want them to be demeanors of like a professional golfer. Those two things do not go, they can't be both.
You can be a professional golfer off the field.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not during game time and not
Yeah.
during practice. If you come to a Packers open practice and you hear a bunch of F-bombs and fist throwing, you shouldn't say, "Oh, this is too." No, you're supposed to say, "That's what I want to see from my team."
Absolutely. Man, it's gonna be a long offseason. This one's gonna sit. Any playoff loss is terrible. This one is gonna sting for a long time until September next year when it's finally real football is back. And the thing is you can say this will sting. Players will learn from it. We said that last year. We said that the year before. We say it every year. Got to see it.
To answer your question, going into the draft, position wise, I think I'd be looking. See, I think I'd be looking for attitude over actual position.
Yeah.
Who's gonna come and bring in? Who's the young guy who's gonna come and bring an edge? I want to read character profiles above stats more than anything. Right now, the stats have to match. I'm not gonna bring a guy in with 0 sacks and just because he's tough. No, I'm not doing that. Right. But I'm going to put a little more stock in like, yo, how was he during practice? What was he like when you recruited him in high school? Like, what did they say about his toughness, his attitude, his demeanor? How was he on game day?
Yep.
Did they have to kind of calm him down sometimes in practice? Did he have bouts of anger when he played in high school? Like, did their coaches say, yo, listen, like, he's tough, you want to reel him in a little bit because he's very, very, like, he's very passionate, right?
Yep.
I think that's what you do. And then you emphasize when those young guys come in, your job is to take an older guy's job and to beat the ever-living dog crap out of the guy across you in practice. Make the guy across from you lose his job because how bad he did against you in practice.
Yeah.
And watch how competitive practice gets. And then it'll translate to the field.
Right now on the team, though, even so, you mentioned like draft, looking into that. If you had to pick one or two players right now on this team that you think can kind of do, I know you mentioned Rasheed Walker. He's going to be a free agent.
Gotta retain him. Gotta retain him.
The tough part, though, is you have Jordan Morgan.
Okay.
That's the one thing. I'm with you. I get what you're saying, but they drafted
first round pick.
So that's what I'm saying is like, I'm looking at this team. Quay Walker, the other one that we talked about, he's another free agent. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option. So I'm looking at the team, and Parsons is coming back, but you're going to need someone else to kind of bring that. Elton Jenkins, Zach Tom on offensive line. I know he's gotten into some scuffles here and there and trying to protect Love. He was out in that Bears game last time when that hit happened.
That hurt. Those two, that being gone, that hurts. Elton definitely is Elton's with all the action. He is.
Yep.
Retaining Rasheed is going to be hard because he's not going to be cheap.
Yep.
He's not going to be cheap.
Starting left tackle is going to be big money.
But at the end of the day, when don't you pay your starting left tackle?
I think, yeah.
I know you bought the other kid in, but Rasheed, he definitely has that edge to him. He's the one that has it the most right now. Out of like the group of guys that's available, obviously Elton does as well, and Tom. We all know it's hard to maintain a roster.
Yeah.
Hopefully things get worked out with Rasheed and Quay. That's why I said, you draft some young guys and bring a couple free agents in who exemplify that attitude. When you watch the Bullies of Baltimore documentary, they said the reason they bought Trent Dilfer in, it was Dilfer, right? The reason they bought him in is because there was like, they literally had footage of him like trying to fight a D lineman who he felt was like laying him too long. And I'm like, regardless of skill, quote unquote, right? He exemplified the attitude we wanted. And Now their defense was legendary, so that you could have played quarterback for them, right? As long as you can connect.
I'm gonna put that
But
on my resume.
nonetheless, Dilfer, once again, he wasn't no slouch, and he carried that attitude. And in free agency and in the draft, bring more attitude, guys, because it'll infect the locker room in the right way, and it'll bring the most out of Parsons,
Yep.
who is there. Because right now he's carrying that load on his own. Now he a dog, he a monster, he's an animal machine. He can do that, but you don't want that to all lay on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Completely. Give him some partners in crime, so to speak, right?
Yep.
And I'm not saying they don't have it internally, but bring another external person in to then now those two guys are working together and it lifts everybody else up.
Yep.
It brings everybody else up.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, 1000%. If I had to pick a player right now in the defense, because if Quay is re-signed, for me, it's let him go back to his rookie year form of having that pissed off attitude all the time. But a player on the under contract next season, I know you mentioned linebacker or defensive line. I'm straying from that. I'm going safety place. Javon Ballard, another Georgia guy you talked about. He's in every play.
Okay.
He pops people. He's physical. And then after this game too, after the last game he was honest, and this one he was honest when he was talking about the Bears. They asked him, he said, he was like, look, they didn't do shit special. It's on us. We got to execute. And he was going at him. He was like, I'll give them credit. They made plays. They didn't do, and he kept saying they didn't do shit special. And so he has a little bit of that. And in Green Bay right now within the locker room, getting someone to say that is monumental, because usually it's just they're very good.
Well, here's the deal. In the offseason, these other teams, they talk about how much they hate their rivals.
Yep.
They talk like they see it. If they see how many people in that locker room are like, yo, I'm going to knock the nail polish off of that weirdo quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
All due respect to Caleb Williams, right? But I'm just saying in terms of being a competitor.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, where's that kind of like dickish attitude? Like that kind of arrogance, that like F you attitude.
Yep.
Like look at my top one. Look at not my top one, but look at me and Adrian Peterson when he was mic'd up. Where's that for like you know what I'm saying? Like who's in the locker room? Who's gonna say, dog, this guy's a weirdo and I'm gonna knock him straight.
Yep.
I can't stand him. I can't stand him. I hate him. Like, where is that at? Yeah. Where is that at?
Yeah.
Where's that arrogance for the Vikings? Like, they got quarterback by committee. We're the freaking Packers. You don't belong. Yo, get off my field, bro. You're in Minnesota. Yeah, get off my field. You see what I'm saying? Like, the Lions, you guys are perpetual losers, and we're going to make sure it stays that way. Where is that attitude?
Yeah.
Because that's how other teams talk about us.
Yeah. Well, are you busy in August, July and August? You want to strap up or take the coaching angle? What are we doing? What's your plan?
Yeah, well, I definitely ain't playing, but coaching, you know, I might have to pay a couple visits over there. But the thing is, too, is that the guys got to believe in that.
Yeah,
you know, and the way they believe is when you got those external forces coming from the outside in who come from, I hate this other team culture.
Yeah.
And we have to, instead of making them more like Packer people, make us more like them.
Yeah.
Hey, you see what this guy's bringing in? Be like that. Not, hey, dude, well, around here we do it like this.
Yeah.
Just that video of the coach from the Bears triggered me.
Yeah.
I loved it. I hated it because he was talking about my team.
Exactly.
But I loved it because, you know, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's football.
Yeah.
That's football.
You need it. You need the hatred. You need the anger. You need the physicality. And the Packers have not had it. And you've nailed it on the head completely. We bring people in and we try to change them to an old standard. And right now that's not working. It's not working.
And I don't even think it's done consciously.
Yeah.
Clinton Dix was knocking people souls out of their bodies when you watch his draft highlight.
Yeah.
And in 2 years, I watched the man pull up. And I'm like, what is that? I literally watched Morgan Burnett knock one of my teammates out the game in the Orange Bowl. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Kid came back, but Morgan knocked him out. I was like, oh my God, that number one just killed, so-and-so. And then, like, I get to Green Bay, and he's been there a couple of years, and it's like sometimes pulling up. And I'm like, these ain't the guys I remember.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I remember watching A.J. Hawkins in college, hair on fire. On fire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, what is happening? What is, like, I was like, well, maybe in the NFL, I was like confused, and then I would see Jair Alexander criticisms. I would see Quay Walker. So, now that I'm going, I'm like, so what, it just, as a whole, that villain attitude has to be embraced because everybody embraces it when it comes to going against us.
Yep. No, I could not agree with you more. And man,
and there's a way to be disciplined with being like that too.
Yeah.
There's a way to be, I was told when Al Harris got brought in,
mm-hmm.
the word was he's going to get you, probably going to get you 15 at some point.
Yeah.
With that being said, he set things in order for that secondary to be what they were to ultimately win the Super Bowl.
Yep. And you look at that, there's no, in my mind, there's a huge correlation on what you just said, what he did for the Packers and what he's doing right now on the Bears defensive staff. Obviously, there's that attitude on the whole defense, but the cornerback room too. They had seen it, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who is just known for that.
Oh my God.
But Al Harris right there, though, Bears out with the concussion.
Here and Philly did very well with him.
He's on the Bears with Al Harris as their coach.
And now that's two peas in a pod, man.
Listen, if we have changes on the defensive staff, Al Harris is one of the first people I'm calling. If Hafley ends up getting a head coaching job, Al Harris, he's had experience in Dallas. He's had experience now in Chicago. I would definitely bring him in and see if he can fit on this, just everything you just said as well. And he's done well every place he's been.
And with that toughness too, it's not so much like, oh, I'm being Billy Battis. No, it's not that. When you're down 27-6 or whatever it was,
yep,
you ain't giving up because I'm not. This ain't finna happen. Quote my boy Terrence Pryor. This ain't finna happen. Like, nah, bro, I'm not letting you get away with this. No, no. I hate you too much.
Yeah, it has to change. I hope it changes. I hope you are making an appearance in Green Bay next year during training camp. You let me know when you're there and you're going to see this dorky face waving at you somewhere.
Check me out. We're Big Ten people, right?
Yep.
Wisconsin, Iowa. Look at Indiana. It's got a bunch of pissed off guys that came from the FCS.
Yep.
Who were mad they were overlooked. And now they had to sit back and watch these 5 stars at Oregon and Alabama drive the Hellcats and with their $30,000 bust down diamond chains and their Rolexes and their, foreign shoes, and they on doing this and doing that. And meanwhile, you're eating freaking whatever at your FCS school and playing at a stadium.
Yep.
Right? You're training in a weight room where the ceiling is as high as my house, right? And you're watching these guys, and you're watching them on signing day with 4 hats, and they pick a hat up and throw it like a jag off and wear another one and take it off and throw it and then pull another one out their bag and say, yo, didn't know I was going to commit to it. You're watching all these wads. Hate those kind of kids, bro, with a passion. Hate them.
Yeah.
And I made it my job to beat the hell out of them whenever I ran into those kids in the NFL or college. Because you ain't have the hard road. You were born 6'4". You were already fast enough. You went to a phenomenal high school. So now these FCS kids, they had to sit back and watch that. And now they're getting a chance to get after those kids. And they're blowing them out.
Oh, yeah.
Blew out Alabama. Blew out Oregon. Beat down Ohio State. The three teams that load up with those type of kids. And they beat the dog piss out of them. Why? Because we are the guys who got overlooked and we're angry about it. And now we have a chance to shut you guys up.
Yeah.
We got a chance to show. Oh, now I get my chance to get after this guy. He don't know I hate him. So now when I punch him in his face out there, he's like, yo, what was that all about? Yo, this dude, this guy is crazy. You're right, I am. Because I don't like you.
Yeah.
I don't like anything you stand for. You're the privileged. I'm not.
Yep.
See what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And Packers have all that ammunition right now. Yeah. You look at next season, they're going to be doubted just like this. We're going to see how the season went. We started 2-0, finished the year 7-8-1, 5-game losing streak. People are going to overlook us. So, and we can't rely on we won a Super Bowl 16 years ago, or we have 13. That doesn't matter. It's a different team. It's a different league.
16 years?
16 years. 2000. Yeah.
You know, people that are 16 are getting scholarship offers now.
Yeah. It's not great, man. It's not great. Well, it's been 16 years since we sniffed the Super Bowl.
We're literally 4 years away from some kids who were born that year being recruitable, being draftable.
Yep. It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time.
That is a long time. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. Our last Super Bowl could drive right now. That's how long
our last Super Bowl could drive right now. We'll be able to drink soon.
Yeah. Probably already legally. Is, honestly. Yeah.
You know, he definitely is, but legally.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Yep. It's a long time. And I'm with you. Everything you've hit on, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you jumping on and talking with me and talking to Packer fans and all this, because a lot of people have been saying it, but hearing from someone who's played with the experience, high moment games, someone who's brought that intensity every time they're on the field, whether it was in Green Bay, in Detroit, in Cincinnati, where you mentioned, they said you brought that expectation, that physicality, even to that team. So I appreciate you dropping your wisdom and experience on us on things that fans can say, but hearing it from an actual player, it means that people saying it are not off base.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you. Thanks for giving me the chance to speak, to address Packer Nation. And I just want to say this, fans, let's not criticize the crash outs too much, because we need those guys with that attitude if we ever want to get that Lombardi again. We need it. We need those guys with that attitude. If we don't want that, we don't want another ring. And that's just all to it. If we don't want that, we don't want another ring.
Yep.
We don't. We have to embrace that. We have to embrace that. The coaches will get them right. They'll let them know, like, hey, yo, good job. But like, yo, now let's not do it where it's costly. Guys ain't dumb. They'll understand. Can't be scared of that. Can't be scared of that. And if LaFleur one day jumps up and says, F the Bears, I hate them, man, we need to champion him for saying that, right? And I'm just talking about just the attitude of it, right? We need to champion him doing that. Oh, Mike, you wearing a Jesus shirt. Jesus was not soft.
It's true. Flipping tables in the temple.
More than that, he was not no punk.
Yep.
All right. So we'll leave that right where that's at. Okay. Champion it and be like, all right, cool. Yo, this is good. This is good. This is what we need. When we do that, I think we will be pleased with the eventual results. You bought Michael Parsons in. That's like the Reggie White, Charles Woodson.
Yep.
supposed to be what Julius Peppers, you know what I mean? I mean, Julius here for 3 years, went to 2 NFC championship games those 3 years, right?
Yep.
Just couldn't finish it out. Because I'm gonna tell you this too. When Julius was here, there was times where, and I talk a lot, right? But I observe a lot too. There was times where you could literally see him having a look on his face like what the, like really. He was a professional in
Yep.
his 30s, older guy. He understood how to conduct it. And when he spoke, he would speak about that stuff a lot. But I think it would go over people's heads.
Yeah.
He wouldn't just like come flat out and say it, but he would like allude to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, remember where he comes from. He was on that Carolina defense. He was with the Chicago,
Yep.
right? And there was times where he would really look and go like, what are we doing? This isn't how it's supposed to go, type of thing. And yeah, Pac Nation, we got to flip this thing around, man. We want to win the Super Bowl. We got to flip this thing around. We got to.
Yep.
We got to change how we view things. We just have to, or else we're going to keep 5 years from now. We'll be sitting back going like, man, we got to be tougher.
Yep.
And then 10 years from now, we'll be saying, man, we got to be tougher. And it'll be the same thing until we embrace that. Let me ask you this, right?
Yep.
In the event, because people are calling for LaFleur's head. I don't agree with that, right? I not like LaFleur. I'm not putting all this on him. I'm not. I'm really not. You know? Like when Joe Burrow said, don't fire Zach Taylor. Yeah, because Joe knows it ain't him. It's beyond him. He knows that.
Yep.
With that being said, if there were to be a change, or when there's a change, because eventually nobody coaches forever, right?
Yep.
Unless you're Mike Tomlin, apparently, which is amazing. Like but you never had a losing season. Like you can't fight that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But with that being said, and he's got a ring. And but with that being said, and I love Tomlin. He's awesome. Will Green Bay embrace a defensive-minded head coach?
I think if they do that, if they embrace a defensive-minded head coach, it would be trying to keep Jeff Hafley. If they don't keep Hafley and promote him to head coach, I think they'll try to go the offensive route and look at a Stefanski if they can afford him, or they might look at someone with an offensive mind. I hope they embrace the defense. We've seen what that do at Seattle. The Seahawks are on a heater right now with Sam Darnold, that quarterback. It's not a knock at him, but if you look at the Packers, Jordan Love, talent-wise, it's a step above. But you see what McDonald did with that defense and being able to revitalize them to the number 1 seed and the easiest path to the Super Bowl for them. I hope they embrace the defense. I don't know if they do. I think if they do, it's going to be internally. If they go external, they'll do offense.
So I was in the airport with Saleh. I saw.
Oh, really?
Robert Saleh? Yeah, was I think last year maybe. But anyway, it's like if they would the Packers, the Packer fan base, will they embrace a defensive-minded head coach?
Let me ask you this:
and that's because that'll be completely going against what the Packers' identity is.
Yeah. And with your experience within the league, I'm wondering now, because you bring up Robert Saleh, when let's say they do move on from Matt LaFleur, Saleh, LaFleur, best friends, really good friends. They come from the same coaching tree. Does that impact at all taking that job where he goes like, oh, you fired my guy. You're in each other's weddings, blah, blah, blah. Does that impact that at all? Or is it kind of like, no, it's business. I would still go there and coach.
I think it's strict. I think it's strictly business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And like Matt would even understand, like, hey, listen, they're going in the defensive route. Like, I'm moving on. I got to get to my next destination. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's what that would be.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that'd be interesting. Like that would be very interesting. And it's funny because, again, as much of a offensive guy as McCarthy was, he loved him some fury on his defense.
Yeah.
And LaFleur is not different. He straight up asked me, Mike, who are like the dogs around here, and where do we need to get some more at what positions?
Yep.
So he understands. I just want to know where that drop off comes from. It still baffles me. So
Yeah.
Seeing that coach from Chicago, that got me excited actually, but it also,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I wasn't too happy.
Yeah.
Right?
It's one of those. Team. Yeah. You said it before. It's one of those things you love to see in football. You're pissed because it's about your team, but you need it. So I can't say enough. I appreciate your time. You took an hour to talk to a random kid in Wisconsin. So I really appreciate your time.
You ain't random, brother. Man. You ain't random. You ain't random. You got your finger on the pulse of the people, man. They listen to you.
I appreciate you, man. And anytime you want to hop on and talk Packers, anything, just let me know, and we can do this again whenever you're free. But I appreciate the time, and like I said, I really hope to see you in Green Bay in July and August and get this team riled up for the next season, and maybe taking this attitude to heart and bringing it onto the field.
Is Devin White available?
Say again?
The linebacker from the
Devin
Buccaneers.
White? Where was he this year? He was on Philly for a little bit.
Shocking. That's right. Shocking. Yeah. Oh, I'm surprised.
Let me look. I'm gonna look right now.
I think see where he's at. We need to pursue.
Yep. Raiders right now.
Shocking. Once again, Pete Carroll. So there's a chance he might not be there because Pete's gone.
Yep.
I think he's a guy we bring in.
Really?
I think he's a guy we bring in because he'll be that attitude shifter with Micah Parsons.
Okay.
And Trayvon Diggs, who played for Al Harris.
Yep.
I think so. Now you bought that attitude shifter up front, got one in the back end. I think you put one right there in the middle.
Yep.
And now that those wheels start turning,
Mm-hmm.
Now they start turning. So
yeah, with Cooper there, we don't know with Walker yet, but if White comes in, you have Cooper. You have McDuffie. He's someone that can come in and he'll have a role. You let him be the enforcer, but he doesn't have to be the top guy. And I think that could be a good. We saw him do well in Tampa when he had another linebacker next to him who was a top guy. So
Levante's that dude is like, he don't age, man. Him and Bobby,
I know.
Him and Bobby are like they're in the freaking what's that? The Lazarus pit from Batman. Like those guys, they spend their off seasons in there and come back out like Ra's al Ghul. You know what I mean?
Yep.
A little bit of gray in the beard, but they're still flying around like it's 2012. Like it's awesome to see.
It's funny you bring that up. My son has got a Batman book for Christmas, and that's one of the stories in there going for that pool. So yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, they take baths in that thing, man.
Fountain of youth every offseason, dude.
Exactly. All right, cool. JC, man, thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thanks for hopping on, man. I can't say it enough, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely.
All right, see you, man.
Later.
All right, guys, you heard it there. Mike Daniels, he messaged this morning and said, "Hey, I gotta get something off my chest," and you could tell that Ben Johnson video really got him. And from his message, it all comes down to attitude. When's the Packers going to have some? He doesn't know what the problem is. It seems like anytime they have someone with an attitude, it diminishes. So we'll see what happens. It was a tough Bears loss, but we move on to the offseason and we see where we go from there. Appreciate anyone listening. It's been an up and down season, a really rough ending, but on to the 2026 season. As always, go Pack Go.